Hi, Andre.
Hey, how's it going?
Hi, I'm just going to be talking about a subject that I actually love and something I'm really passionate about, and I know it to be very true, and that's about does the spirit world, those are passed over, or even like animals or pets, do they show you signs? That's what we're going to be discussing today.
Okay, great. Okay, and so what are signs?
Yeah, what are they?
Yeah.
All sorts of things, to be honest. You can see things like, okay, I've got here butterflies.
Yep.
So sometimes people see butterflies. That's not actually, it's a sign, remember. It's not actually someone hasn't turned into a butterfly when they've passed over.
Okay.
But the butterfly may be special to them. They may like the garden. Oh, you just know that's a loved one that's passed. Especially cancer. I think breast cancer is related to the butterfly.
Right.
You may also, I've got the dragonflies. You may see dragonflies. You may get flashing lights. You may also get things like music comes on and you just know that it's your loved one giving you a message. Sometimes you may actually see a road, so you might actually see a number plate. Yeah, you may see a number plate. And then you may see headline in the newspaper.
So just to backtrack us
Yes,
a
okay.
second. So when you say loved ones, are you talking about loved ones that are past?
Yeah,
Rather
they're
than
past.
the loved ones that are here?
Yeah, loved ones that are passed over.
Yeah, okay.
So they send a lot of signs. Can be rainbows. You just know that. I remember my auntie was buried, and when she went down, the sun just broke out. It was like it'd been a doom. I just knew that was her. So they definitely show you signs. From my personal experience, I found, particularly from my mum, and my mum passed away because I wrote a poem for her 80th about having a heart of gold, and I also read it at a funeral, and she kept on, everywhere I looked, my head was turned to see a golden heart. Or she used to send songs to me, and there was one particular time I was really upset, and she sent me the sign that life is a roller coaster. You just got to ride it. You don't fight it. And I knew that she was telling me that she fought things in life and not to fight it. So I find particularly signs are very strong. I'm not saying you don't get them years after someone's passed away, but I find very much in the beginning when they passed away, people can be very aware of a spirit signs from spirit.
Okay, why do you think that is?
Because they want to let you know that they're around, that they're present, and particularly that they're safe. And as a medium, quite often what the spirit world says to me, I'm alive, I'm not dead. So they say it's just me without a body. But what it is, we want proof, don't we? And
sure.
we want proof, and we're in a state of grief, and it's a transition. And so when they pass the spirit world, they transition, but also we go through a transition when we lose them. So the transition that we do is letting go of that physical being. Even if you believe in the spirit world, you know they're around, you have to physically, that person's no longer physically present in your life. And I had my ups and downs with my mum, but there's a strong love with her, for her. And so when she passed away, because I nursed her, she put me through this transition herself, and I found that she was around a lot to help me transition to the time that she'd gone. So they transition, and so do you.
Okay.
Yeah. And I remember this absolutely this day. This is so strange. Often I find, not always, but sometimes a baby is born or someone becomes pregnant when someone's passed. It's a strange thing. And I woke up and there was booties on my car. There was actually knitted booties. And I went to see my mum's grave and I was very grieved. And I saw these booties. And then I got a phone call from my husband. He said, my daughter, which is my stepdaughter, has just had a baby girl. And the other thing is they want you to be called Nana. And I ended up being called Nana Carey. So I felt really included, and and my mum always told me that babies bring their love no matter what circumstances. So I know that was definitely a proud moment, and it was very much a sign from my mum. And somebody would have put them, she wouldn't have put the booties there, but someone
Sure.
must have seen them on the street and put them on the front of my car. And I just know that they use people for signs as well.
Right.
You might just get drawn to, I get drawn to something, or sometimes music's really interesting. So I don't know if you go to the supermarket and that you get drawn, your ear gets drawn to a song, and it can often be spirit drawing you.
Right.
Or in the car, the radio song may come, you just know that it's spirit.
Yeah. So how do you know the difference between just life and a sign? Like you mentioned, like number plates or songs on the radio. How do we know what is a sign and what is just life?
Because it's a sense that you get.
Okay.
And it happens when you least expect it. So you're least expecting it. And the sign is appropriate at that time. It's appropriate. Like I talked about the booties.
Yeah. So too much of a coincidence just to be.
Yeah, too much of a coincidence.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or there's somebody that will come and see me, and I said they're talking about this bird that keeps on visiting, and they're saying yes, and they know that a bird's visiting them. And someone told me about a hedgehog. They're going to see a hedgehog, which they did. And it's a sign of them. They know. It's pretty incredible sometimes.
Okay. And so just to tease that one out a bit further, how do we know it's not our imagination?
Because of the coincidence, the sense that you get, it's like, or the flash, just something. It's just the timing of it, and the sense that you get that it's a sign from the spirit world.
Right.
I even got one from my cat once. And
Your cat sent you a sign.
sent me a sign, yes,
Yeah.
my cat, and
Was
also
it
my
was
husband.
it a mouse?
No,
No.
it wasn't a mouse. So I was in the shower, and I decided I was going to get another cat. My cat had passed away, Misty. And I decided I'm going to get a new kitten. And so Misty always used to come in my bathroom door, and she used to push it open. And I was in the shower, and I was thinking about, I'm going to get a new kitten. And then the door opened and pushed just like her, and I thought, that's a sign from her. And she's approving of me getting a kitten.
Very cute.
That's very cute. So I know that I've had people that have felt them sit on them and all that sort of thing. That felt the weight of the actual cat or dog sit on them, and I've heard the dog snoring and all sorts of things.
So signs can be real objects that you and like live music, but they can also be introduced things that don't actually exist, but we feel them.
Yeah.
So it's like a weight that there's nothing actually sitting on your chest, but you can still feel.
I've heard of that as well. I've
Right,
heard of
okay.
people feeling it. They've just sort of felt something like weighting on them, or like a door opening, or I had a sense. I talked about I was doing the Auckland Marathon. I was going up the Harbour Bridge, and I looked over where my father used to have a boat, and the feeling of my father was huge. And just in front of me was my brother running, and I went up and he said, go, because he was sort of walking, running, and I went past him. But I know that when I told him, even though he's not really into the stuff, he found it quite moving.
Sure.
Yeah, and my father had something to do with the Harbour Bridge as well. So it was just like he was there, and I could feel his presence. That was a sign for my father, without a doubt. Or
to let you know that he's there. Was that what the
and I'm just saying the word "and at peace."
Yeah.
I'm just saying "and at peace."
Yeah.
Also, smells are an important one. You can sometimes someone smoke. There was a guy at work that passed Fritz, and I could feel him around me because he kept on. I could smell cigarette smoke. Or you may just get this beautiful waft of beautiful perfume, or you may see an image of someone smoking. You might just smell it. I sometimes can smell things from nowhere. Where's that smell coming from? And that's definitely the spirit world. And it relates to that person.
Yeah.
So it's just not
Like a strong connection.
Yeah, so it relates, like the smoke or the butterflies relate, or birds, or
Yeah. Okay. So they basically use all your senses.
They use all your
So we've got like
senses.
sight, smell,
So you may
hearing.
physically. So, for instance, you might get drawn. I thought it was supposed to be a cat, but the artist drew that for me. So you might get drawn to the dog in the picture when I'm doing a reading, and up above it, I don't know if you can see it on the picture, but there's a rainbow, and sometimes, yeah, so you might get drawn to the rainbow in the picture. Or I quite often when I'm doing a reading, I'll get drawn to, say, like on here, I've got these beautiful pink roses.
Yeah.
So I'll be made to look at something like the pink roses, or a bowl, like a bell, for instance, is a sign for my mum. Because she used to ring the bell when she wanted me to help her when she was dying. So it's all those sort of things.
Okay.
Yeah. And they're in nature, and they use
Yeah.
like material objects. They'll use, spirit will use anything they can
Yes.
to
reach
get
to you.
through, to reach through. But especially, I'm hearing the words miserable. So especially when you're feeling miserable, they'll show you something. And I know that my sister-in-law told me there was one time that was a really difficult time in her life. Once again, she doesn't really believe in this stuff, but she shared this with me. And it was a really hard time. And the whole family's going through it like that. All the siblings, and it was a family business. And she walked into the lounge and she could see a silhouette of people, like really bright silhouette of people. And the feeling she got of peace was absolutely incredible, and she knew without a doubt that she was going to be fine.
Wow.
Absolutely.
It's powerful.
It's very powerful.
Yeah.
Just knew.
Yeah.
And she knew where it
So you
came
don't
from.
need to be consciously looking for signs. Like they can just sometimes just pop up, even though you're not looking for it. You might be just going about your day and
Absolutely.
doing this and that, and then you see a sign, and it's too, the feeling you get that comes along with it is overwhelming. So much it's a sign.
But I want to say that once going to go back to Charlie Seaman's podcast about don't search for stuff, don't look for it.
Yeah.
Allow it to come to you.
Sure.
So if you start, and I've done this, if you start stressing about wanting to see a sign, you'll get yourself very stressed. You'll get yourself very anxious. And I tell you what, it won't happen.
Right. You sort of, yeah.
Because you're just closing this brain down, this mind down. And I don't know what it is about spirit. Like, even when podcast, I hear things come in, or when I'm doing a reading, when people ask me a logical question, I find it very hard. The same with signs. If you demand a sign, you have to have a certain sign. You can ask for a sign, but they'll give it to you in a way and at a time that you are least expecting.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So we talked to Marina about architecture, and she said that she often gets an inspiration in the middle of the night. That would be, she's not because she's relaxed, because she's tranquil, because she's like in an altered state. And it's like the spirit would be able to reach you then, because you're not tense either.
So can you ask for these signs?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So you can ask for signs. You say, look, I'm really sad. I've lost my mum. I've lost my son. I've just lost someone from the spirit world. Or I really want this person to come through. And you can ask. I just want a sign for them. First, we can say, and ask a sign for them, right? And then, but they'll give it to you. You're going to have to wait. But they'll give it to you when you're least expecting it. Just reach out. Just ask the spirit world, I need a sign. Even, I wouldn't say a certain sign. Just say, give me the sign that I'll know it's you. If you're too demanding and too black and white and using your logic, it won't work. And you'll be disappointed. Just say, the more open you are, just like with anything to do with spirit and creativity, be open to say, look, I love you. I invite you to give me a sign. Whatever you want, wherever it is. And they'll give you a sign because they love you. They love you.
Yeah.
And it's like a blessing.
Yeah.
And it's a sign of love and hope.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
So I guess I've never done this myself. I never looked for signs for anything. But I guess
I think
you'd
not
have to
ask
be...
for it. You have to not. If you look for it, you won't find it.
Yeah. But what I
open to receiving.
what I was about to say was that I guess it would be very hard if you had an idea of how you want something to be or how you want a sign, and you're searching for that, like for a fictitious example, if I really wanted to go to France for something, and then I was asking, the spirit world, can you send me a sign of whether, I'm going to go to France or not? And then I'll be searching for confirmation, like a biased confirmation that of France or something like that, right?
It won't work.
And yeah, it won't work because I'll be looking for that, and then if the spirit world sort of sent through a sign and it wasn't that, I wouldn't pay attention to that because I'm biased to looking to how I want it to be.
Yeah, you just say,
Yeah.
I think, yes, I think, that too much logic. I'm hearing the word logic.
Yeah,
Yeah, you got to keep your logic. It would be hard
Yeah.
for you being an engineer.
yeah, but also keep your bias out of it, right?
Yes.
Of how you want the sign to be.
I had a
Yeah.
situation recently where somebody wanted a certain bird to come through. Mm-hmm. So what I do is I tend to, it's not a bird here, but there's a bird over there, and it's an owl. And I was, and so I started searching, which is the wrong thing. So she said, what can you show me a sign? She's very black and white. Because what that does for me, it closes me down.
Yeah.
And I start guessing. And she said, oh, you're guessing wrong. That's what happens to me. I'm a human being. I'm not perfect. So, of course, I want to give the person what they want. And so what happened was I got drawn to this owl. And I realised that what spirit were trying to take me to was they're trying to take me to a bird. And I said owl, and of course she said no. And I thought, I just don't know. But it was actually, I won't say what it was, a certain bird that the noise that this bird made, I was supposed to tell her. Because she had made up her mind, she had an agenda. Mm-hmm. And her agenda was, if this really is my mum will give me this, da, da, da. And because it was so sort of almost, with all due respect, I could understand her, I don't want to say her need, but it, because it made me uptight. I think spirit was showing me this owl to show me. Maybe I should have said, like, I'm showing the owl, but it's some sort of bird. And she would have said yes.
Yeah, but she's obviously being very specific,
Very
and
specific.
biased of what she wanted to.
Yeah, and bless her.
Yeah.
Because I can totally, because for me personally, you lose someone and you're desperate to hear from them. You just want that absolute,
Confirmation.
certainty and confirmation. And I can and that's what's a challenge for me doing Sensory Murder, because they wanted absolute facts and information,
Right.
which I can understand.
Yeah.
But it puts a pressure on the medium. But you also, I want to say for people that are watching this podcast, it's putting a pressure on yourself. And to make it easier and smoother and calmer, just put like a prayer, just say to your loved one, I'd love to get some sign, however form it takes. I don't mind what it is. Give it to me your best way and the best time that's possible for you to give it to me, and just be open. Mm-hmm. And so if it's something physical, you get drawn to it. You, like I say, a painting, or you may get drawn to a number plate on a car, a headline in a magazine or a newspaper. You may be just something in the physical, like an object, like you may see a butterfly, something you're drawn to. Or it could be, say, music, or like a smell. It's all sorts of things. In fact, my mum had a really good sense of humour, and I was really upset about me. And she showed about something. She gave me the song "Life is a Roller Coaster," and then we went to the lantern. How do you call it? The lantern show, and it's in February.
The Lantern Festival.
The Lantern Festival, yeah. Right. And there's all these slushies everywhere. My mum had this real thing about, she never drank alcohol, but it's like having these alcoholic slushies before she passed to spirit. Mm-hmm. I kept on seeing those, and then I won't say what it was. She gave me the most funny about somebody that upset me. Mm-hmm. And I was on the back of my husband's motorbike, and I saw this sign, and I knew it was hilarious, and that was my mum's sense of humour. And I knew it was my mum, and it made me laugh so much that it actually, I could just see her saying it because my mum had a very dry sense of humour, and I laughed and laughed and laughed, and it gave me so much relief. And I knew that she said, "Don't let this person worry you. Who cares?"
I'm going to have to ask you about that after this.
Yeah, I'm not going to say it on the podcast. It was hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and so if you're asking for a sign
Yes.
from someone
Yeah.
that's passed,
Yes.
and you're not getting it, like what
Yeah.
can you do?
Oh, what can you get?
What can you do?
What
Yeah.
can you do?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. I guess it comes down to how you're getting it. Sorry, not how you're getting it, how you're wanting it. So I'd say if you're not getting it, I would kindly suggest that maybe, like I said, you've been putting too much pressure on yourself. You're putting too much pressure on the spirit world. You're absolutely, I have to see this sign for you. You've been extremely specific. So I would suggest that you're more open. And I would sort of suggest that you maybe have a quiet time, some time, and I would say either do some sort of meditation and calm yourself down, and then ask that way, and just ask nicely, inviting it to come in, and then let it go. Or you could just say a prayer before you went to bed. You could just be like in the shower. You could be doing a house work, just whenever you're calm. I think it's really important to be calm. And then maybe when you go for a walk on the beach, when it's you time, or walk into the nature, whatever it is, I'd just say, ask. Is it that sign? Ask and it will be given.
Ask and then be open and patient.
Ask, it will be given.
Yeah.
And I think trust as well, because the other thing is maybe it's already been given, but you're just, they're giving you signs, but you're pushing it away. Because I want this specific sign. It's sort of almost like a sense of control.
Yeah.
And I'd say, ask and it's given, and also trust and let it be. I mean, also remember, they don't have to. I mean, the spirit world have free will too, and we've got free will. But I've definitely, I've never had anyone for spirit world, for me personally, that hasn't given me some sign if I've asked for it.
Is that right?
Yeah.
100% strike rate.
100% straight away. In fact, I can share with my older brother. I don't mind saying he's passed now, and I was very close to him, but he was a bit of a, I guess people call him the black sheep of the family, and he was very creative actually. I was sort of close to him, but he was a different sort of character. And he sometimes, he's very proud of me, and I know that. He was proud of me. And he was quite supportive of my spiritual work, to be honest. He wasn't, he was quite, I was in magazines, and he apparently showed everybody him in a magazine. I was on Women's Day, and he took it around. So he was very proud of me. But he also did some things that really hurt me as well. Sort of inappropriate things, and just things that he said, really. And which did hurt me. And I was talking to my sister-in-law on the phone because he'd just passed. And I'll never forget it. He gave 2 signs, actually. And he came up and he said to me, I wished I'd been a better brother. And I heard it as clear as a bell, and I knew it was him. And I knew he had some regrets. He heard me. He knew what we were talking about, which is really amazing, observing. And then another thing is, it was amazing. I'm going very tingly, very tingly. So his partner and him, I think he really loved her. He really loved his partner. Really loved her. And I don't know if there's some sort of, I don't know, heated discussion they had. I don't know what went out, but he really loved her. And he passed really quickly to the spirit world. And I didn't know the background. And because he loved music. He's actually he wrote the songs in my book, Breaking Free. And he's a musician. And he gave me that song, If Tomorrow Never Comes, Tell Her How Much I Love Her. And I'm going very tingly. Tell her how much I love her. I'm just having to stay connected. And I told her, and he said he's come home, and I told her, and it meant the weight came off when it meant so much to her. And he works through me.
It's really cool.
It was awesome. It was quite beautiful.
That's very reassuring for the people out there.
Yeah. And I think sometimes we talked about near-death experience, and I feel the spirit goes away. They do take some sort of responsibility
Yeah.
because they had this life review.
Yeah. And I suppose they can
Yeah.
sort of see they're out from the outside looking in. They'll be able to view
Yeah.
things differently.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. More holistic
Yeah,
sort
but
of
I'll
viewing.
never forget my brother saying that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. And so, okay, we've talked about signs in the sort of the physical world and being brought through from the spiritual world. Do you get signs in your dreams?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Talk about that.
definitely in your dreams. So,
Yep.
and you will know also if it's spirit or if it's just a dream. So you'll get signs about things in your dreams, and they gave me a sign about something that I was really caught up in, and they gave it in my dream many years ago, and they showed me that I was caught up and I had these chains around me. So they showed me as a sign that I was so caught up in this thing in my life that I was creating chains around me. That was one thing that happened to me personally. So they show you signs that way. And for some reason, you may be dreaming about some sort of bird, or you're dreaming about, I dreamt about, it was really interesting. I dreamt once in my dream about such a strange thing that there's someone I dated at one point. I dated this person just very briefly. And I dreamt that my husband was going to be doing a bungee jump off the harbour bridge. And I also dreamt that this person that I'd met briefly had yellow walls in their house. And I don't know what I was being shown, but the strange thing about it was John said, I'm going to be doing a bungee jump off the harbour bridge. He got given it to work, one of his suppliers. And so that day I walked up Harbour Bridge and for him to do this bungee jump, which he did. And then lo and behold, I went to netball, and who did I bump into? But this guy I went out with once at netball, and he was in the same field. And then he ended up working for us at one point, and I told him about this dream, and I said, I don't know what it was in this dream, but I kept on seeing yellow walls. And he said, I painted my walls yellow recently. So it was almost like a sign from spirit world. This person was meant to, was coming to work for us for a while.
Oh, interesting.
Yes,
Yeah.
so that was like real signs.
Yeah. Wow. It's almost like deja vu, but not.
Sort of like deja vu.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. And so so you've talked about signs for, I guess, like the spirit world, like showing you confirmation
Yes,
that
yeah.
they've passed and they're happy and
At peace.
and at peace.
Oh, there's another one I had actually. So with my father, that was really interesting. So with all due respect, I find it really hard in some ways working. I work one day weeks now. At that time, I was working full time for my husband's business, Calendar Electrics, and being in a male environment, and we're making a lot of changes. And I was quite stressed. It was quite hard. It was difficult. It was not easy. It was I just said it was a battle. It was a battle. And my father was a builder. And he showed me in the stream, and he was wearing, I don't know why, but he turned up with a check shirt, but it was red checks. And he never wore red checks. And he's wearing this. I thought, why is my dad showing himself with red checks? And then I went with Westpac, they took us to this women's event. And it was all about different dots, and we had to have different dots. It was yellow dots and blue dots and green dots, and we were red dots. And the red dots was a really male colour, and it was about the persons that are very sort of like aggressive and black and white and practical and all that sort of thing, and that how to deal with these people that are red dots. Because it was like, and I realised that for me, dealing with this sort of like almost aggressive male energy, even though I came from all these brothers, that are very black and white and logical and practical, and they're not so emotionally connected necessarily, not saying they're not necessarily, and very like, that's the way that they are. And he was showing me that with the red checks the next day, that I was dealing with these red dots, personalities. And it really helped me a lot. I thought, why am I trying to get these people to be different than what they are? This is who they are.
Mm-hmm.
This
So
is what
they,
makes them special and unique.
so they can send you signs to sort of open your mind up.
Yes.
So give you clues on where to look.
Yeah, who's wearing a red
Answers.
shirt and who's saying,
Yeah.
this is why you're having such a problem.
Right.
And the weird thing is that I went to Arthur Funny College after that, and this medium brought to my father, and he said, your father's worried, you work in the male industry. And I said, I do. And he said that your father's worried about you being around so many males because it's not good for your energy, because it's too hard on you. So I sort of, I still involved with the business, but I've actually pulled back a lot from it.
Yeah.
And doing my spiritual stuff because it suits me a lot better.
Yeah. Better for your person.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I think also what he's trying to show me with the red shirt is that this is what you're dealing with. Like, instead of wanting them to be something that they can't be,
Sure.
this is who they are.
Yeah.
And I can't change it.
So
I
open
just
your
heard the
mind
word-
up to things.
Yeah, I just heard the words from, he must be talking to me. I just heard the word from perspective.
Right. Yeah. Opens your perspective
Yeah.
to something that you would have been closed to before.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Not even aware of.
Yes,
And so do they give you warning signs as well?
absolutely. I've got a really good example of that. So we're living in our previous home and our lights kept on flashing off and on downstairs, and I knew a hairdresser at the time, and her sister's house had burnt down from these flashing lights, so they got on fire as these down lights.
Halogen lights.
I think they're down lights.
Yeah. Okay.
And it alerted me to it, and my daughter did mention to my husband at the time that the lights were flashing in her room. And one day we're talking about it, and the lights really flashed, like, woo, and I just, looking back, that was a warning from Spirit. And so John dutifully, he's very good and practical, so he just started from the bottom and went up. And then I was in bed, and I was in that waking state, and it was my mother's voice, and I could physically hear her. And she used to call me Kerry, not Kerry Marie. My dad would say Kerry Marie for I love thee, but my mum called me Kerry. And the way she spoke, and she's going, Kerry, Kerry, Kerry. And my mum was so safety conscious.
Mm-hmm.
She was so safety conscious. She's part of the reason I met my husband. She's worried about my hot water cylinder. She just would be really like pushy with it.
Mm-hmm.
And she did it. She was waking me up, and more than once. And I had this pressure from it. I knew something was wrong. And she was trying to she was trying to get me, I think she was trying to show me the lights that needed sorting.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what it was. And then a week later, we went down away, down to South Island, and my daughter rang me, and she said, Mum, and I said, the house has gone on fire. I knew. And what had happened is that she woke up, she went to the bathroom, she came back, and she fell into that semi-seat, woke up, and there was the light had gone on fire. And luckily, she had common sense. She went to the neighbours, and someone came, fireman, happened to bump into fireman. I'm sure that's divinely one of the people were firemen. And he told her what to do, and he came in and closed the doors, and and the house didn't burn down, and she was safe. The main thing was that she was safe.
Sure.
And I felt we were divinely protected, because I had this thing in my mind that insurance companies would be quite mean and question us, and actually they were really kind.
Oh, that's nice.
They were amazing insurance company, and the man
Yeah.
was so lovely. I just think I was really looked after, but there's no doubt in my mind that my mum was trying to draw attention, and she knew.
Mm-hmm.
And protecting my daughter, she's very close to Desmond.
Yeah.
So I live to tell the story. But so I would say to people, another time I heard it was a warning when I thought about on a motorbike, and I got code red. That's what I heard, because code red, what does that mean? It's a warning, code red, isn't it?
I guess like we use, normally in warning signs, there will be red in there, like a
Code
stop
red.
sign is
Isn't there
red.
something called code red though?
Possibly.
Well, I don't know. It's on the back of John's motorbike, and
Yeah.
I've talked about this before, and I heard code red, code red, code red.
Mm-hmm.
And it was horrible because it was really windy and it was so windy.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard it yelling at me, code red, code red, code red. And we went around the corner. It was a really bad, It was a bad motorbike accident, and slipped because of this, the weather. And the other really, it's always synchronicity because Spirit's looking after you. My friend stopped in their van in front, thank goodness.
Yeah.
And I just got off John's motorbike. I said, like, I'm going with him in the van because I've been told, get off.
Yeah.
I've been warned.
Yeah.
What else are you looking for? And I often it's really sad because, some people do have sudden passings, but sometimes I have to wonder if they have a feeling not to go and not to do it. I wonder about that if they get, they know that. I know I've talked about it, like I talked about losing my phone on the plane.
Mm-hmm.
And I was told that and I just argued with it. And it's when you get that feeling,
Yeah.
listen to that feeling or that sign from Spirit and just do not dismiss it because they're showing you for a really strong reason. And recently, I really feel that Spirit we're talking about, it's a health concern that I have. Just everybody's got their crosses and we all have health concerns. And so it's a health concern that I've had for a while. And I've sort of, and Spirit's been warning me, but I've been saying you need to look after that health concern of yours, right? And then I kept on feeling it. And then what happens is John showed me an article about this, whatever it is, and I need to take it seriously. And at the same time, a beautiful from my PA is a homeopath, got hold of me and said, she's studying homeopathy, and she said, oh, can I have you as a case study? And she'd already helped me. I'd lost my voice, and she helped me get my voice back. I didn't want to take prednisone, and she helped me. And I just knew that I've been looked after. And then I had another, to do with this concern, I went to this naturopath on the way home to pick some product up. And this naturopath also showed me what I had to do. And someone who also does osteopathy has come in to help as well. And I just know that the Spirit world is helping me with this problem, because if I don't get it sorted, there could be a problem for me.
Yeah.
How many warning bells do I need?
Yeah.
And I was just sort of like, I just think, come on, Kerry Marie, wake up.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Yeah.
saying you're the expert in this, right?
Pardon?
I said you're the expert in this, and even you.
And
We have to sort of-
and I want to say that if you
Yeah.
actually have a health concern that worried you, I mean, I think doctors, I've got a very holistic approach. If you need a doctor, go to the doctor. But we have to be your own advocate. That's a warning I give you. If there's some warning you have got with your health, please insist, because I know of someone recently that had sort of a lump in their throat, and they're quite young, and they kept on talking to the doctor, and the doctors wouldn't listen. They brushed it off, and now they've found out that they insisted on a biopsy, and it's something to do with some cancerous condition, could be lymphoma. Let's pray she's okay. But I'm just going to say, listen to yourself. Even if somebody else tells you that it's not, if you've got this insistent feeling and you're getting signs. And also what I'd suggest, if you're getting someone's not listening to you, ask a spirit world. Just say, ask Spirit or the angels or the guides or someone in Spirit to ask you and say, look, I really need some help with this problem. I'm getting these warnings. Please help me deal with these people that have to help me.
There must be thousands of horror stories just like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
About doctors that don't listen.
Yeah.
What did my father say? Doctors bury their mistakes. And I'm not against the medical profession, because they've actually saved many lives as well.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
But put your foot down. And I also want to say, I had a situation with someone I know recently, and that was synchronicity. So someone we know, and I took us out for breakfast, and this person had overdone the exercise, and their heart was had been racing, and they were sweating, and I absolutely insisted they went to the doctor, and basically I'm pretty sure most likely really helps to save his life, because even though he loved his wife and adore her, sometimes we don't always listen to those close to us who's telling her to get a doctor. And it's actually, so the medical profession has helped save his life. Yeah, but he was ignoring the signs. So, and I believe spiritually I was put there to push
To
in.
intervene.
So sometimes other people can be signs.
Right.
Other people can be signs, and it's not necessarily from spirit, but spirit will use whatever they can. So they'll put someone in your path. And my husband, who's a logical man, who I had a feeling that even the medium was ignoring it, and then he was showing an article. He puts it in front of me, and I just had this real sense that I had to read it.
Yeah.
So they used his logical mind and made him look at this article. They're so clever, and they all do it because they love you and they want the best for you, and it's not your time. And they know that you've got more work to do here in the real world, and they're looking after you and they're giving you support.
Very interesting.
Very interesting. So I believe that every person and every one of us has got the ability to get spiritual signs from the spirit world. Some people say everybody can be a medium. I just guess it's like some people are more artistic. We talked about this again. Some people are like the red dots. Some people are more like black and white and practical. And some people are really good at like maths, and some people are really good at cooking, and some people are great at gardening, and some people are really good, got the personality to make you laugh and be comedians, and everybody's different. I think Marina talked about having a team, and spirit's a team with you, so they're working with you as a team. And so we've all got different gifts, and some people are more, I suppose, more connected to spirit than others. But it doesn't matter how logical you are. I feel if you ask, it's given. If you just open and just give it a go. Don't be specific about what you want. But you'll see something around you. Something will happen. Either see it, you'll dream about it, you'll get a visit from spirit, you may see a shadow, lights flickering, the TVs may go off and on, you'll be drawn to something in the physical, you'll hear music, you'll smell something out of the blue. I tell you what, and numbers are the other one, like 1111, or some people see numbers, I talk angel numbers. It's a gift from spirit to you, and it's so special, and it's a gift. And why push a gift away? Be grateful.
Absolutely, but you have to be open to it.
Yeah, so thanks so much for interviewing me, Andre. I hope you're going to be open to signs.
I'll have to be looking out for them.
Look out for them, and please, spirit's genuine, and you're genuine, and you're special, so please open up to the signs and ask for signs from the spirit world. If you'd like to get hold of me, you can contact me on kirimarie.co.nz. You can order my book through there, or my messages from spirit cards as well. Also, if you like this podcast, please like it. And we'd love you to subscribe to this channel to be part of it. And if you want to be notified, just push on notifiers and be notified when these podcasts come up. Just know we're available on YouTube and Spotify. And what I'm finding is I watch some, and then I get different messages when I listen to them. I walk on Spotify, so Spotify is good to listen to as well. Blessings and love to you, Kiri Marie.